everyone. In this episode, we're going to talk about Nike's new hands-free shoes, the Nike Go Fly Ease. Welcome to Design Education with Mia. Nike's Fly Ease collection was created to make sneakers that are easily taken off and put on by athletes of all kinds, right? So the idea was to eliminate laces or Velcro and just create easier mechanisms. So in this collection you can find, for example, the Metcon 6 model or the Vapor Max shoes, and the Go Fly Ease are now part of this collection as well. They offer a new mechanism in order to put your shoes on. I think it's such an amazing innovation. Right? The entire mechanism is it's so elegant and simple and functional, and it just works. So I'll just explain it to you quickly. Basically, you've got the outer sole, so the part that touches the ground, and it's separated into two parts. So you've got the front and the middle of the sole in one part, and then you've got the heel, and they're both separated by a V shape where we basically carve out the sole so that the shoe can go and it just locks up. This is the coolest shoe I have ever seen. Honestly, I think it's the next step in footwear. What's really cool as well is that these different parts of the mechanism are highlighted. So for example, the V area is red, and the area in the back of the heel where you put your toe down to take your foot out is highlighted in yellow. It just shows that the team was so proud of their mechanism. Highlighting these parts is really cool because it offers more intuitive design as well. The main part of this mechanism is the elastic band, right? Because the elastic band enables the entire shoe to stay together. So it's this elastic band that just brings the shoe together and enables the shoe to just lock around your foot. It also just brings the piece together visually and mechanically. So as I was saying, it's simple yet functional. It's something that we call low-tech design. Most people know what high-tech is. High-tech is, for example, the Back to the Future Nike shoes that Marty uses in the second movie. Yes? These shoes use a electronic mechanism, right? So there's a whole system in the shoe that tightens the shoe around your foot. In this case, the shoe locks safely around your foot with a low-tech mechanism that doesn't take an electronic part. It doesn't need a program. It's just tension and forces studied to make sure that the shoe is locked into place. And low-tech is it's a very cool concept for design because it needs to be done in an intelligent way in order to function, and it's just beautiful. When you see it, it's just like, wow, it's really something that you can appreciate. I'm probably going to make a video about it, about just low-tech designs. So when I saw the shoe, I immediately made a connection with Balenciaga's sock shoes. I think they're called the Speed Trainers or something. And they're basically just a sock connected to a outer sole. And they're the most comfortable thing I've ever had around my feet. They're very cool shoes. You just slip them on, just like socks, and you go about your day. And it kind of reminded me of that, because these shoes, they're just like, lock, and go. Haley Zimmerman, who's an American designer, also pointed out to me that this concept of slip-on without using your hands isn't new, and that there was this company called Kizik. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that correctly, but they came up with this design of the heel that also uses tension, but another way. It's more like elasticity, and when you slip your foot in, the heel just goes back up to the original position. I think this Nike shoe design comes at a really convenient time during COVID. Now, I'm not sure if this was planned or if this started before COVID or whatever, but it's a really convenient shoe to have nowadays because we're trying to avoid touching dirty surfaces. We're trying to keep our hands sanitized and trying to stay safe. This eliminates the component of touching your dirty shoes, and you just slip them off. I think that this sneaker is just going to do amazingly well in a bunch of different fields and scenarios. I think it's just going to be convenient for a bunch of people. For example, in professions where you have to keep your hands clean, like a nurse or a doctor or a cook, you don't even need to sanitize your hands after putting your shoes on. Awesome. It's also really cool for pregnant women. Your belly just gets in the way and you can't put your shoes on anymore. And it's just a lot easier to just click your shoes on and go. Another point is for people who don't have the dexterity to put their shoes on. It's such a nice way of including these people, because usually they need someone else to help them with their shoes, right? And this just gives them the independence of yet another task, and I think that it gives them a confidence boost in their lives. Because it can be people who are missing their upper limbs, or people who don't have the dexterity, or people who have back aches, or elderly people. And it just gives them a confidence boost, I think, and it's just a really nice concept. So the team who designed this shoe at Nike also spoke about Asian culture and how, you know, in Asian households, usually you'll take your shoes off at the front door. And I think that this cultural mix is a cool aspect of the shoe. I myself, being a cultural mix, I really enjoy seeing this kind of mixing together of Western and Oriental cultures. Now for the design analysis. I think that the aesthetic, the color, and the overall shape of the shoe is very much Nike, and it's very much today's trends. I really like the pastel color scheme of this model. I think it's really nice. I'm really enjoying it. I think that with this design, they're really coupling functionality with aesthetic, and it's just really nicely done. Really well executed. I just love it. Another point that I spoke about earlier was the intuitive design. Now, good design is intuitive design, and that's just a fact. If you don't need to explain your product to someone in order for them to know how to use it, then that just shows you that you've done a good job with your product. And this design is definitely intuitive. This team just used these things, these habits that everyone has already to make this shoe. Even though this mechanism is brand new, this pop and lock mechanism, it doesn't exist anywhere else in any other shoe. Yet when you see it, you know exactly what to do to take them off and put them on. So it's just really well done overall, because you just know what to do, because the parts are highlighted, because it's just things that we usually do. For example, the heel, like pressing down on the heel to get your foot out. That's just intuitive because everyone does it. It's just really well thought out. It's the highlighted parts are important and they contribute to the mechanism, and you just get how to put this shoe on. I think that this design really reinforces Nike's slogan, just do it. You just get that much closer to doing it. It just feels like you click them on and you can just go and get it done. Honestly, I love these shoes so much and I want them so badly. If you want to send them to me, please send me a text and I'll send you my address and you can just send them to me, and I would love that. Thank you. But let's not forget that Nike shoes are not that great for the environment. And this is why. The problem is that there are lots of plastic parts. And potentially you could recycle these parts, but these parts are all glued together. The Nike's shoe concepts are not made to last for years and years and years. And they're not made to be recyclable, and they're not made to be a friend of the environment. I guess that's just a decision, that's a choice. And I think maybe that can be the next innovation in their shoes, is to make like a modular shoe, for example, where you can separate the parts. And it would solve two problems. First of all, you could make it that much more recyclable. And secondly, if you could change the aspect of your shoe, if you can change the colors, or if you can add a color, you could use the same shoe with just different parts to match your different outfits. And instead of having 20 shoes, you have one shoe. Yeah, it's an idea. Why not? Let me know if you'd like me to do more reviews of products as they come out. For example, I could have done the AirPod Max. Let me know in the comments, and I'll see you later.